While still working with brushes, let's go ahead and look into the different brush libraries because there are so many options and they're all very pretty and very useful. So let me go ahead and take the brush tool again and maybe draw the shape of a flower, just like this, a daisy. Okay, as you see, when I released, the fill changed into stroke because I'm using the brush tool, or the paint brush tool to be precise. So let me actually change the color from yellow to something else because it will be more visible. So for example, this turquoise, oops, sorry, I meant to color the stroke. So as you can see, the stroke is in the background. Just by hitting X, it will be in the foreground, and now I'm able to color my daisy from yellow to blue. There you go. All right, so now what I want to do is make sure my flower is selected. So hit Command A and then go to Window, Brush Libraries, and you can see in this panel all sorts of options. So we're under Brush Libraries, and we have like arrow brushes, artistic brushes, borders. It's really endless what you can find in here. Let me show you some examples. So if I go to artistic, under artistic I also have calligraphic, chalk, charcoal, ink, paintbrush, watercolor. Let me select this one, for example, and then this panel opens. We can put it here at the top right corner, and then I can open it just by clicking at the bottom of the panel and dragging it down. So as you can see, I have all sorts of brush styles. Now with my flower selected, I can just go on any of these brush options and just click once, and my stroke will change to that brush. Now let me click outside and you'll get a closer look. You see these brushes that I happen to choose are watercolors, so you will see shades of transparency. If I zoom in, you see here I have a light blue, and then I have, darker blue elsewhere, and so forth. If I hit Command Z to go a step back because I want to try several brushes. So I scaled that flower down just by hovering over the edge of the flower. So it was like this. And then I held the Shift key down and I scaled this down. The reason I'm holding the Shift key is because I don't want to distort my flower. Okay, now I want to create a new flower. I want to copy this flower. All I need to do is just hover over the flower, hit Alt, because Alt copies for me. That's what Alt does. So hit Alt and then drag another flower. Now, as you can see, my new flower is being copied, but it's going randomly with my anywhere on the artboard with my hand shaking. So to avoid that, I can hit the Shift key while I'm still holding the Alt key. So I'm holding the Shift key and the Alt key together now so that I copy my flower on the same horizontal level as the original flower, and now I can release. Okay, having done that, maybe I want a third flower now. Do I again do the same manual thing over again by hitting the Alt and the Shift key? I don't need to. What I can do is this great shortcut that I constantly use in Illustrator, and that's just hitting Command D. Now, what Command D stands for duplicate. So what it will do, it's not really duplicating, but it's just repeating exactly what you did one step before. So in the earlier step, if I maybe I don't know, instead of moving something, did something like coloring or changing a stroke, anything that I did in an earlier step, it just by hitting Command D, it will duplicate that step for me. Okay, so I have 3 flowers now, and I want to use different brushes. So let's say I select the first one, and I use this brush. I select the second one and I use a different brush. And you see there are all sorts of differences. I can select this third one and maybe select this darker brush. And it's really, you can use your imagination. You can do what you want. Maybe you want the flower thicker, less thick. Just select it and go to the upper panel right here. And then play with the stroke if you want. Oops, this is way too much. Let's say 0.01 or so. Maybe you want to use these options again, or again choose another form of brush from this panel at the top. So this is an example of existing brushes. You have all sorts of other brushes, like let me draw another shape now. I'll also take this brush tool and this time just draw a nice leaf. All right, and I don't want to use the artistic watercolor anymore, but other brushes, like if I go under artistic, let me choose paintbrush, for example. I have these different paintbrush options. Let me select this jaggedy one, for example. You see, it's so nice and endless. Instead of drawing this, worrying about how to draw a shape that has some jaggedy edges, you can just select a brush. So maybe I want this one, or perhaps this one that has also some transparencies on the edges, and perhaps I want it slightly thicker. That's too much again, so let's say 0.04 and so forth. So now let me go to preview mode, and as you can see, they're all made up of this simple thin line because I'm using my brush tool. I'm not using the blob brush tool. Now let me show you what we can do. Maybe in the future I wish to use this shape, but I want to change certain colors here. Okay, how do I select these different blues? Because I have a dark blue here, I have lighter blue at the bottom. How is it possible for me to like hold these if in reality this whole thing is one shape, right? If you're not sure, again, go to preview mode. You see that it's one shape. I don't have the ability to hold, to select the dark blues and then to select the light blues and so forth. What I can do, first of all, I want to just select these flowers and delete them because I don't want things to get messy. So let me zoom in, and basically what I can do, again, as a repetition of what we did in the earlier tutorial, is to expand appearance. So let me go to Object, Expand Appearance. Okay, and as you can see now, my stroked shape changed to a fill shape. If you are not sure about this, you can just hit Command Y again, and you can see that now it's a fill shape. How is this useful? Well, maybe I want to select all these dark blues and change them to a yellow, for example. The way to do that, there are actually two ways. The first way is by using the magic wand. So if I click on the magic wand, which is the tool right under the selection tool, and I just click once on this dark blue, what it does is it's going to select all the shapes that have this exact same blue for me. And as you can see, it selected all the dark turquoise blues but did not select the light blues. And that's the first way. The second way is using the direct selection tool, which we will cover again later. I can just select this shape, this dark blue shape, and as you can see, it just selected the part that I clicked on. It didn't select all the blues for me. And I can go to Select, Same, Fill Color. And it does exactly what the magic wand did in one step. So it selected all the blues for me. So it's really up to you what you would like to do. When you're selecting Same, Fill Color, you have also the option of selecting Same, Stroke Color, right? So in the future, if let's say you have 3 daisies made up of a stroke of red color, and you have other daisies that have a blue stroke, and you want to select the ones that have a red stroke, instead of selecting them manually one by one, you can just go to this panel which says select, same, and then stroke color, and select all the reds if that's what you wish to do. Now, for the purpose of this exercise, as you can see, we selected the blue fills, and what we want to do is just change the color to yellow, as we said earlier. Now, I have to pay attention about my colors right here. Who is in the foreground, who is in the background? Currently, I have the stroke in the foreground, and the stroke is empty. What is my intention? Do I wish to give this turquoise blue a yellow outline? If so, I can just go ahead and click on the yellow, and then I will have a yellow outline around, you see, my blue fills. But if that's not my intention, if my intention is only to color this turquoise, to change the color from turquoise to yellow, a yellow fill, then I have to be careful to have the blue fill, the foreground color at the front. And I just do that by hitting X on my keyboard, just like that. So now I have the foreground available for me to color, and I just go to swatches and click on yellow. So all the blues changed to yellow. So this was a wonderful tutorial in my opinion, because we covered three aspects again. We covered the different brush options, where you can find them, what you can do with them. We also covered how to expand appearance and the usefulness of that. And we also covered how to select same fill or same stroke by using the magic wand, or by going into the menu under select, same, fill, and stroke. Obviously, there are other options here you can play around with, but now you know where to find it.